Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. We're going to wait just a few minutes to give everybody a moment to log on. We hope that you all are doing wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right. So let me see here. Add. All right. So good morning, Donna. Good morning, Yanita. Hey, yeah, I'm trying to add you. I hope I'm doing it right. It says adding. So you guys, thank you guys for jumping on. Go ahead and share this broadcast. All
Hey,
right. Yes, I did it right. I did it right.
we're here. We're here. Yay.
All right, you guys. So go ahead and invite. Hey, Jennifer. We're going to give you guys just a minute or two to log on. I got to remember that my camera is over here. I have it on landscape, so it's weird. Oh, that's a beautiful necklace, y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So can you hear me good? Do I need to turn my volume up?
You're good. Am I good?
Yeah, you're good. Okay.
Okay.
It might just be me.
Hey, Shane.
All
Hello.
right. All
Hello.
right.
Hello.
Hey, Sheree. All right, you ladies. So listen, we have like a wonderful topic on this evening, and it's one that we really need to address as a whole. So many times we just see each other and we know that we're not living out our purpose. We're just kind of going through the motions of life, and nobody really says anything. Nobody really tries to get to the reason, why are you not doing anything with your life. As women, we have so many different reasons as to why we may feel stuck. Hey, Roberta. Hey, you guys. Hey, Felicia. So today, you guys, we just want to kind of have a conversation, right? It's called girlfriend chat. So, we're girlfriends now, right? So we're going to have a girlfriend chat, and we're going to be honest with 5 of the reasons that we kind of came together and collaborate on. But we know there are a lot more, but we would be here to the end of time trying to discuss them all. So as we
Okay.
are discussing a topic, if you guys have any questions or comments, you guys put them in the comment box, because we'll see them and then we'll try to address them. All right. So for those of y'all who don't know, my name is Chantea Williams, and I am the ministry leader of Greater Working Women Ministries. And what we do is we encourage, empower, and equip women for greater through the Word of God using practical application. And we're also building a teen mom mentoring program, and lots of other things going on. So y'all go ahead and let the people know who you are.
Hey, everybody. I am Yah Hughes, the founder and CEO of Made for Purpose. And we are a business that partners with women to help them shift their relationship with pain. We have a mentoring group, also a teen mentoring group called Brave Beauties, where we believe that young women that get instilled with self-esteem and self-love don't have to combat those things when they get older. I am the assistant pastor of Kingdom Vision Family Worship Center, and my entire goal is to really help women live their full life based on what God has said, and remind them that they are made for purpose. So that's who I am, and that's what I do. And I am excited to be here with my sister. Oh my God,
Yes.
she is absolutely amazing. And I'm excited to have this conversation tonight with you guys.
Yes, 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 you guys. So listen, to all of you guys who are just jumping on, thank you, thank you, thank you. Listen, go ahead and share out the broadcast. Tag some ladies that need to watch this. Listen, even tag some men, right? Because even though this conversation is about women, men also need to understand what's going on in our world so that they can better help us. All right. So we're going to start it out. The first reason that we have is confidence, right? So we're talking about 5 reasons why women feel like life is passing them by. So the first reason we said is confidence. Now, the definition of confidence is a feeling of self-assurance arising of one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. So that's the definition of confidence, right? And so we know that so many times as women, there are lots of things that affect our confidence, right? And so some of those things is our weight, our skin color, the way our
Yeah.
body dynamics is made up. You know, some people think, you know, their boobies aren't big enough. Some of them think they're too big, like me. You think your hips too wide, or you don't have enough hips, or your butt's too big, or you don't have enough. You know, that's what we're talking about, body dynamics. And, you know, these are like serious things. You know, sometimes your family, your friends, your money, employment status, you know, what you drive, your relationship status, right? Some of us don't have that self-confidence because we're either not married, or we're married and divorced, right? Or we're married and miserable, right? And so sometimes our children and address and just a plethora of things that can affect our self-confidence. But I think that's probably the number one reason why women feel like life is passing them by, is because we don't have the self-confidence. Y'all, what do you have to say about that?
I definitely would agree. I think that when we put it in that perspective, and when you think of confidence, you only think of, like holding your head high and those things. But our confidence has kind of gets the vote on almost everything that we do and everything that we are. So if I'm not confident in the way that I look, I'm not confident in the education I have, I'm not confident in my abilities, I'm not confident with who I am today, then naturally I'm not going to put myself out there to do everything I need to do so that life would not pass me by. And I think that a lot of times we kind of measure things based on our perspective and our views and all of that. So if I don't have the confidence, then naturally I'm not going to go after the things that I desire, the goals that I set forth, or any of that. So therefore, I'm going to sit stagnant and I'm going to watch life pass me by. And these are the reasons why we feel that we're inadequate. These are the reasons why we aren't assured. And these are the reasons why we play small and all of those things. And then in turn, we sit back and we look at life and all of the years that we spent combating the low self-esteem and the no self-assurance and all of those things. And then we look up and we're nowhere near where we thought we should be. And it was because, or as a result or lack thereof, of our confidence in our abilities and who we are and all of those things. So then it's easy for me to play small. It's easy for me to stay back. It's easy for me not to make decisions. It's easy for me to stay in my comfort zone because I'm not confident enough to put myself out there. So therefore, I am going to feel like life has passed me by because I'm not where I desire to be because I'm not confident enough to get there.
Absolutely. So we want to ask you guys, if self-confidence has been one of your challenges, put a number one in the comment box. So this is a transparent conversation, and I will tell you that has been one of the struggles for me for years. I allowed the lack of self-confidence to be a hindrance to what I am supposed to do in my life. So I can definitely attest to all of these reasons that we have listed that go towards why women are allowing life to pass them by when it relates to self-confidence. And so what we want you to understand is, no matter who you are, no matter what size you are, no matter where you live, no matter your skin color, no matter your relationship status, no matter anything, we want you to be able to look in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm beautiful. Look in the mirror and say, I'm beautiful. Look in the mirror and say, I believe in me. We want you to understand that our self-confidence is not grounded and rooted in things or people. Because they're
Yes.
fishy, they shift, they change. You understand what I'm saying? Things change. You can be up today and down tomorrow. You can be friends with your homegirl today, and tomorrow y'all act like y'all don't know each other. So
Come
you
on.
can't allow your self-confidence to be tied to another individual or to be tied to a materialistic thing that can be snatched out of your life at any given moment. So listen,
Absolutely.
ladies, we want you to understand self-confidence is key to not allowing life to pass you by, right? So we want you to understand that self-confidence starts with you. You
Absolutely.
have to say, you know what? I shouldn't have gained the 10 pounds, but you know what?
Go in the
No matter what
cabinet.
size I am, I'm still beautiful. Right? I want all of my ladies
Just
to
get
put in the comment box,
a
no
wine.
matter my size, I'm still beautiful. Because I
Yes.
want you to
Amen.
understand your self-confidence doesn't matter about your size, right? It's about how you feel about you. And if other people do not accept you for who you are, then guess what? You need to cut them loose. Cut them loose. All right. So put in the comment box, no matter my size, I'm beautiful. Don't ever look in the mirror again from this
Put in the
point on
comment box, no matter
and
my size,
decide, you
I'm
know what,
beautiful.
I'm just going to
Don't
shrink
ever.
back because, I really gained that extra weight. I don't like I got this cellulite in my hips and my butt. And it doesn't matter, right? Make the choices that you need to make to get healthier.
Absolutely.
So, does anybody have any questions or comments about self-confidence? Y'all, you want to add anything about that? I'm gonna try to catch the comments as you're.
I definitely think that you kind of nailed it, but I think that it's so key to not measure yourself up against people and things and all of that because you got to look at what's your measuring stick. So when I look at my measuring stick and I look at everybody around me and I'm not where they are, or I'm not in the place that they are in, or I don't look like them, I don't talk like them, then my confidence level will continue to be low, or I keep measuring myself. But you got to measure yourself against what God says about you and who you are and who you're created, that you're fearfully and wonderfully made, that He's created you in His image and in His likeness. And you got to get to a place where you celebrate all that you are, no matter what that is, right? For a very long time, I wasn't confident because of my gap, right? And I'm like, my gap is cute. My gap is sexy. My gap, it makes me who I am. But for a long time, I would not speak as bold as I speak now because I didn't have the confidence based on my teeth, right? Based on those things. And I can remember my aunt has a gap and she's one of the most beautiful women ever. And one of the things that she said to me was, your gap or your teeth does not make who you are, right? Don't reduce who you are to that, but celebrate the beauty in that, right? So I think that, just knowing who I am and measuring who I am based off of who created me and not based off what society has to say. And then you won't have to go there. Yes, come on here, Gap. Listen, we make gaps cute. And I smile
That's right.
real big because now I know the value in who I am, and it's not predicated on what you see or don't see. So my value is not measured on what you don't see or who you're measuring me up against. So your confidence has absolutely nothing to do with anybody, no matter your size, no matter your weight, no matter your complexion, no matter what it is. Make sure that you don't measure yourself up against anybody else and celebrate every part of you.
Absolutely. So, listen, you guys, if you're just joining in, Girlfriend Chat, me and Yah are talking about 5 reasons why women feel like life is passing them by. And so, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. We're not sugarcoating this, even though we both serve in ministry. This ain't church, right? So, do not
No.
look for the deep. Chantea and deep, Yah. That's not what you're going to get tonight. You're going to get the real, the truth, the raw, the ugly, the cute, cry, laugh, whatever. We're here to help set some of us free because too many women are sitting by the side and just watching life pass them by. They're watching other people live life and enjoy life, and they're thinking, when me, right? All you have to do is get out and participate in life. All right. So that
Absolutely.
was number one. So number one was self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So number two, our next one is comparison. Y'all, let you kick this one off. Comparison. This is a big one. This is a big
This
one.
is a big one. So when we think about the reasons why we feel that life has passed us by and where we are, is because we've compared ourselves. We should be here because you started out in this place with this person, or we compare ourselves to say, well, this person has a little bit more experience that, or I have more experience than this person, and I've been doing this longer and I've been doing that. So therefore I should be way past where they are, when in all actuality, where you are is where you are supposed to be. No matter what has happened in your life, you are where you're supposed to be. And the moment that you take your eyes off of what everybody else is doing, how they started, how long they've been doing it, how long versus how long you've been doing it, I think that there's freedom in that, because the longer that, again, we measure ourselves up against someone else, the longer we stay stagnant, the longer we get to this place where we're not operating at the level that we should be because we're comparing ourselves. And society has made us, they vetted us against one another, right? In every area of our lives, we are in competition. You apply for a job, there's 1,000 other people that you're applying for. Depending on the job, you go in and you're sitting in the waiting room with other people that are interviewing for it. And if you're not confident in yourself, if you're not confident in your abilities, if you don't know who you are, then it's easy to get there and say, I'm not going to get it because I'm looking around, right? Our minds begin to tell us things. We don't even know the people that are in the room, but based on how they're dressed, how they look, and the conversation you may or may not have had with them, you begin to disqualify or discredit yourself. But when we understand what we bring to the table and the value that we bring to the table, then it's very hard for us to begin to compare. So since we were younger, we've been comparing. So in order to get to that place of not comparing, what do you bring to the table? What value, what skill set? Who are you that you can only do it this way? Listen, me and Chantea are in the same arenas, but we do different things, right? We're both authors. We both have ministries. We both do all of this. We're collaborating. Why? Because we're not in competition, because we're not comparing it, because I know that there's value that I add to the space that I'm in, and there's value that she adds. And together, we're explosive. So I think that when you know and understand your value at the core of who you are, then that's when you begin. And that's not something that happens overnight, because I didn't wake up and know what my value was, right? I didn't wake up and say, I am who I am, because I compared myself a lot, right? I grew up in a family of a bunch of women, and most of my cousins are older. We're older, but we're older by like a year or two. Like, so I am out of that core group of the older cousins, the younger cousin, one of the younger cousins. So it was so easy for me to look from that lens. It was so easy for me to look from the lens of I should be doing what my older cousins are doing. And there were times when our adults put us in comparison with each other. It happens, right? I can remember, and it wasn't intentional, but it was a seed that was planted that, one of my favorite cousins, she's very quiet, she don't bother anybody, that kind of thing. I was always loud. I always spoke my mind. So, growing up, that was grown. So I was constantly compared to my cousin that was quiet, to my cousin that was this, to my cousin that was that. And for a long time, I felt like I was, being grown by speaking my mind. I thought that I was, if I'm a little loud or if I'm this, then I'm being compared. I need to be like this person. So therefore, I began to dumb myself down. I began to not be, who I am because of that comparison trap. When we get caught in that comparison trap and we stay there, then we're not living out our full potential and we're not being purposeful, right? I am the only, God made me the way that he made me. It doesn't matter that you're a female, that we're the same age. We could have been born on the same day in the same hospital at the same time, but we are not the same person. So you got to get it in your mind that you are not somebody else. And you're doing yourself a disservice when you compare yourself to somebody else's life, somebody else's story, because you don't know all the hell that it took them to get to that place. You don't know all that they had to endure to be where they are. And you comparing your life to theirs, and you did not walk in their shoes. So remove yourself and give yourself a reprieve, because you don't get to compare yourself to anybody else.
That is just absolutely amazing. One of the followers commented, Yornita said, we will always fail at being somebody else. And this is one of the things I tell people. We can do
Yes.
the same thing in the same industry, but you'll never do it like me.
Ever.
You understand what I'm saying? That's not
Ever.
arrogance, that's confidence. And we, as women, we cannot be afraid to walk in that confidence. If somebody wants to tag your confidence as arrogant, they have the problem, not you. Right? And so
Come
you have
on.
to understand that your confidence is your confidence. Your level of confidence may not be the same level as my confidence, right? Yah has a certain level of confidence that's different to mine, but we are still confident women. And so 3 things that I wrote down about comparison. Number 1, you focus on what you don't have instead of celebrating what you do have. When you are comparing yourself to somebody else, in essence, you're telling the creator, you're telling Elohim, now I'm finna get spiritual real quick. You're telling God, you know what? I understand that you are almighty and you created, but you messed up with me. Because if you had
Jesus.
gave me so and so, then I would be happier.
Mm.
Now, let me just pause and let you think about that for a second.
Wow.
Who has been guilty? Right?
When
If you
we
have been
compare,
struggling with
Jesus.
comparison, put number 2 in the comment box. So you have to understand that when you compare yourself to somebody else, you are not, you're looking at what you don't have instead of celebrating what you do have. God
Yes.
made you unique. He made you different. He made you with all your beautifulness for a purpose and a reason. You don't have to worry about what you don't have. Right? Don't
Yes.
worry about what people don't appreciate. That's their issue. It's not yours. The second thing I wrote down was no gratitude. When you are
Mm.
comparing yourself, you do not have a spirit of gratitude. You are being selfish, which is my third one, because you're making it all about I. If I had this,
Wow.
if I had that, if I can go here, if I can go there, if it's all about I. When you are comparing yourself, you are being selfish. Think about that for a second, ladies. We have got to stop comparing ourselves. And Yah, you hit something on that nail the head. You know, you said that when you were younger, the adults in your family compared you guys to one another. And that's something we have to be careful. Some of us are still carrying that comparison that we dealt with in our younger years. And we have carried it over into our adulthood because we never broke free from that. We never
Yeah.
understood who we are. Nobody never confirmed us consistently to say you're beautiful just the way you are. You are magnificent just the way you are. You are perfect even with all your flaws. And so if nobody ever told you, ladies, we want to tell you, you don't have to compare yourself to any other woman. You are perfect the way you are. I don't care what you did last night. I don't care what you did last year. I don't care what you did before you logged on. You still don't have to compare yourself to anybody else. All right? So listen, let's break that comparison because we're not here to compare. We're here to collaborate. We're not competing, right?
At
We're here
all.
to have a dynamic force wherever we put our foot in. The only way we're going to do that is if we stop comparing one another and start collaborating. We are better together. All right.
Absolutely.
That's one thing my late overseer Glenn Jefferson Sr. said all the time. He says we are better together. And as women, we have to understand that we are better together no matter what it is that we're doing. We are better. Love you, baby. Have a great day at work. We have to understand that you don't have to do it like anybody else. I don't have to run my ministry the way Yah runs hers. We
Absolutely.
attract different type of women. Our stories, our testimonies, the things that we know, our knowledge and our skill set may not reach everybody. So what I do is I collaborate with my sister. We learn from one another, but yet I'ma still do greater work in women ministries the way I can, and she's gonna do Made for Purpose the way she is because she understands we're not comparing. So let's just
Absolutely.
kill the thing that says we have to compare one another. No. Now I may say, girl, you wearing them shoes. I wish I had some. Now giving a compliment is one thing, but being envious and coveting, right, and being jealous of what another woman has, let's stop it. We've got to put it into that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just have to put it into it, right? All right. So
Absolutely.
if comparison has been something that you have had a challenge with, I asked you guys to put a number 2 in the comment box. I see some of you did. And listen, I'll be honest with you, I'm right there too. Let me put my number 2 in the comment box because I have done the same thing. I have said, I don't have the platform. I don't have the following. I don't have this and I don't have that. I can't do anything. Listen, spectators don't do great things.
Yes. You got to start where you are. Start where you are with what you have. But as long as you sit on the side and spectate and make a list of everything that somebody else is doing that you aren't doing or that you should have been doing or that you are qualified to do or that you guys went to the same school or you're in the same arenas or X, Y, and Z, that's every day that you're still sitting watching your life pass you by. No more spectating. Comparison is a spectator sport, and that's not who you are. You are doing not only God a disservice, but the people that you're assigned to. Because when you don't show up, because you're comparing yourself, when you don't show up and give what you have the way that you are, then guess what? They can't get everything that you need them to get. They can't get what they need from you and what God has purpose for you to do. You can't even get what you need. Some of y'all keep praying and praying for a relationship and this and that, but you're comparing yourself to your cousin who had a bad strain of relationships with people and they got married before you, and you wholesome and you this and you that. But if you would just show up and stop comparing yourself, then maybe you would be in a different place, in a different space. But the longer you compare yourself, you're going to keep comparing while you're in the relationship and while you're in your marriage. And therefore, that's going to bring so much more. And God is like, I can't release him yet.
Oh my gosh. And not only that, to add to what you're saying, a lot of times we are jealous because we know the woman down the street has this fine husband. She always had the latest things and the Louis Vuitton shoes and purses this, and she drive the Benz, and we're thinking, man, I want a man like that. But what you don't understand is sometimes, not all the time, because there are some good men out there, he goes home and he beats her. So he has to pay her to beat her so she can still look good.
Jesus. You can't covet over stuff that you don't have no...
You want what you see on the outside, and you don't even know what's going on the inside.
In the inside.
Be careful for what you pray for. Be careful for what you ask for, because you can't just get the stuff. You got to get everything that comes with the stuff. This ain't Baskin Robbins. This ain't Burger King. You don't get it your way.
Yeah, you don't get it your way.
If you want this Louis purse, then you're gonna have to take what it gets this Louis purse. Come on, so you can be my punching bag.
Jesus.
But you want the relationship because he's fine and he's always divvying out money, but he's paying to beat her. He's paying to cheat on her. He's paying to belittle her. He's verbally abusing her, but yet you want what she has.
You don't know the cost. You don't know the cost.
Listen, you guys, when we compare, this is so strong, because I know as women, we struggle with this so many times. Even on the littlest level, we compare our children. We'll compare just the littlest thing. And listen, stop it. Because when you compare, you're teaching your children how to compare. You're teaching your daughter that what's really important are the superficial things.
Yes. Because here's the thing. While you don't say it, everything that you do is teaching that person that's watching you, whether you have a child, whether you have a goddaughter, whether you have a niece, whatever it is, they're looking at you from that lens, because guess what? You're the authority figure in their lives. And when you teach them to compare, when you teach them all of those things, then they don't know and understand why that spirit is on them, because that's what they learned. So we got to be careful of that. And it starts out very small. You started your weight loss journey with your friend. Y'all both been going to the gym 3 days a week, and y'all both drinking the same amount of water, and y'all both meal prepping, and you don't understand why she's losing weight the way that she is, and you're not losing weight, and all of that. And then it becomes, I'm just going to stop. I'm not going to do this because I didn't do it at her pace. But your body is not her body, right? We may have started this journey together, but our bodies are unique and specific. So it's not just on the level of, yes, you want the man, but it's on the level of the small things. Why can't I lose weight? Or it's every little thing that you begin to compare yourself. And as you're comparing, you're stuck in this freeze frame, and you're literally watching your life go by. And then you're wondering why you are where you are. If we get out of that place of comparing, when I stay in my lane, and I'm looking right in that lane, I'm not looking to the left and I'm not looking to the right. I am looking at the lane that God has given me. I don't have time to compare and look at what you're doing and you're going faster, and then I switch lanes and I go behind you and all of those things. So you got to make sure that you kind of check your gauge every now and then, because the comparison spirit will sneak up on you, and you'll look over and you'll begin to compare your life with somebody else. And sometimes we got to take a step back. Sometimes we just got to take a step back and make sure that we aren't comparing, or we aren't putting goals, or we aren't, I mean, in this arena of women empowerment and all of these platforms, you see it all the time. So and so is doing this, and we started out together, so I should be doing this and I should be doing that. And then you got out of your lane, right? You got out of your lane to compare, because you compared yourself, and now you're off course and you got to go all the way back and go over again.
Listen, you guys, comparison breeds dissension. It's almost like comparing
Mm.
apples and oranges. We may look similar, right? But we're really different. So whenever you're trying to compare yourself to somebody else, remind yourself, wait a minute. Apple and oranges are fruits, but they're not in the same category.
That's right.
They don't taste the same. They don't feel the same. Their insides are different, right? They both grow on a tree, but what they produce is totally different. So
And I
just
can
think
like
about that.
both. And I can like both.
Come on
And I can
now. Come
have
on
both.
now.
I can like an apple and an orange. Nobody said that I had to pick.
There
Nobody
you
said that I
go.
had to choose between an apple and an orange. So that's what we're missing. She's the apple, I'm the orange. You like both, and it's okay. No comparison. We're both fruit. We both grew off of a tree. We are different in our palates, but guess what? We are still the two of the most popular fruits there are.
Listen. For those of you who are just joining in, we are doing Girlfriend Trap. 5 reasons why women think life is passing them by with my sister, Yah. I don't even think we told you guys where we are. I am in Columbia, South Carolina. Yah is in Delaware. So listen, you guys, we got the East Coast on lock. All right, West Coast, we coming for you. All right, so
We
listen,
coming.
you guys. If you're just joining in, we did confidence, and we're just wrapping up comparison. So the next one is fear. 5 reasons why women feel like
Mm.
life is passing them by. Fear. Listen, I used to be the poster child for fear.
Come on. Hmm.
Let's just be honest, okay? So fear is to be afraid, anxious, and to worry, right? Sometimes our fear is make believe. It's not even real.
It's
It's
not
all
real.
in our mind. It's not even a reality, right? We have this fear. Oh, well, I don't want to do that because I don't think I'm not pretty enough. I don't articulate enough. I don't know enough. I just, I haven't lost all the weight yet. I don't have all of my ducks in a row. I don't have the platform and the influence. If I do that, she's not going to like me. If I do that, he's not going to love me. If I do this, they're not going to accept me. We have all of these what ifs going on in our mind. The battlefield is truly in our mind, as Joyce Meyer says. It's only in our mind. A lot of it is not even real. It's what
Absolutely.
we
At all.
make believe. It's what we have, those make believe fear people that we have entertained,
Hey,
right?
son.
We have entertained them, and now they've become our norm. All fear is not good fear. All fear is not bad fear. Some fear is just made up. So who
Mm.
can be honest and say, I've made up fear?
I mean, had a whole entire anxiety attack, made up stuff, hypochondriac, the whole nine, okay? Off of a fear that was
Yes.
not there. So I'm going to go ahead
Yes.
and raise both hands. And as my old pastor used to say, if you can't say amen, just move around a little bit.
Ladies, really, what are you really afraid of? Are you afraid of failing? Let me tell you something. The key to success is failure. So let me just go ahead and free you. You're not going to succeed unless you fail. It's inevitable. You're gonna mess up, right? You're gonna make an error. You're gonna do something that's gonna tick somebody off. Who cares? At the end of the day, you have to walk in your God-given purpose, and you cannot allow the fear of what if, the fear of, that's too much. Be team too much. I'd rather be team too much than team not enough and team not show up. Let them say, oh, you just too much, but I'm here. Stop allowing fear to rob you of your present and your future. It's really not that bad. Let me tell you what fear almost did. At the end of last year, and hey, you guys that are just joining, um, at the end of last year, I wasn't sure if I heard God to say that it was okay to do a publishing company, right? And so I was kind of, I don't know, God. Everybody's publishing books, blah, 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 right? I'm making all these excuses up, but I know enough, right, to know I need to be obedient, right? So I put the
Mm-hmm.
little course out there, 40-day challenge, and I was like, okay, I ain't even gonna do nothing because ain't nobody gonna sign up. So guess what? I had to launch it afraid because I wasn't confident in my own skills. I was like, I don't know, God. And we give all of these excuses as why we cannot do it. And so after I launched it and then somebody signed up, it was like, I really got to put something together. So I put
Yes.
it together. Me launching out in fear got me $500 extra that I didn't have. Fear is robbing your finances.
Come,
Who
oh,
cares if
somebody
10
needs to type
people
that. Fear is robbing your finances. See, that's when I take it
listen?
personal, because if fear gonna rob my finances, then my finances is tied to my children eating. My finances is tied to whether or not they go on a vacation. So fear is stopping you from having the things that you want.
It is. Who cares if 10 people in your city are doing the same thing? If God said do it, do it. Because there's an audience for you. There are people that will be drawn to you and what you have that won't go to those 10 other people. So while you're trying to give an excuse because, well, Susie down the street or Shaniqua down the street is doing that, I don't want to do that. They're going to try to say I'm copying them. The Bible says ain't nothing new under the sun.
Nothing. And here's my thing, and I give this example all the time. There is a library for what reason? Because it's millions and thousands of books, right? Okay, so you wrote a book, I wrote a book. Girl, just put the books together. We all gonna be in a self-help group, but I'm gonna speak to who I need to speak to. But the moment that I said that Chantea has a book, the moment that I said that this person is in ministry and doing this, the moment that I say that, I disqualify myself from being on that shelf. And that robbed me of my finances. And that robbed me of what God has told me to do and the purpose that he's created for me. It's all in your head. It's robbing you of your finances. That job that you've been talking yourself out of, that was going to lead to your promotion, that was going to lead to this area, that was going to lead to you connecting with some people, that was going to help you, that was going to be your training for your business plan, that was going to be all of these things. But because you were fearful and you didn't apply for it.
Listen, let me tell you something. Me overcoming my fear connected me with a celebrity who wants to publish a children's book. Ain't nobody but God. So listen, you don't know who
Nobody.
God is setting up and they're waiting. But let me tell you this. If you are being slowful and you keep being fear, he will give your blessing to somebody else. If you
He
can't
sure
say
did.
amen, just type in ouch.
He said even the rocks will cry out for me. So if he ain't going to use you, he will use a rock.
His purpose will not go void and just sit there and like a
At
number on a
all.
log. It
He
will
will
be
raise up
fulfilled
somebody
whether
else.
you walk in obedience or not. There is somebody who wish they had half of what you had. And here you are complaining about what you do have and won't use what you got. Come on now.
A few years ago, I was somewhere and somebody said to me, a delay may not be a denial, but it may be caused by your disobedience.
Woo! God.
Your delay is not because God denied you, but it could be because of your disobedience.
Somebody need to type that in the comment box. My delay. Say that again. Yeah, I got to get that.
Your delay is not a denial, but it could be a result of your disobedience. My delay is not a denial, but it's because of my disobedience. So, you know how people say it's delayed, but it's not denied? Okay, God ain't even deny it from you, right? He didn't delay it, you delayed it because of
Come
the
on
fear.
now.
Because
Come
of the
on now.
fear. And then if we're going to go into the word, in Timothy, it tells us God has not given me the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. So if he didn't give me the spirit of fear, where did it come from? And who keep dangling that in my face to make me believe that that's what it is? Fear is just perceived, right? It has no value. It's the bully that you're allowing to bully you because it's a perceived. You know how the bully, and they say all of this, they got all of this bark, and you're scared and you're scared. And then when you begin to look at them and you begin to size them up and you begin to just say something, you realize that they were all bark and no bite. That's fear. So your
Yes.
delay is because you've been disobedient by believing that and not believing what God said and not going and not moving. You keep going back and forth. You keep stuttering back and forth. And he's waiting for you to bust a move. You waiting for him to bust a move. And he already told you that it was on you.
That is awesome. Listen, these are 3 more things I wrote down on fear. The first one I think was an imaginary threat, which we discussed. Number 2 is it's an excuse not to be the best you. Some of us like fear because it gives us the cop out from being the best version of that we can be. And then you don't want to be challenged because you like your comfort zone. Some of us sit in fear because we're comfortable.
Comfortable there. Made our bed there.
Eating our bonbons there.
I mean, Cheetos, just red, orange stuff all on the couch. Eating our bonbons, watching the have and the have-nots.
And let me tell you, to our Christian ladies, the reason why you have fear is because your faith has no mobility.
Ooh.
Because if you understood, even if you weren't confident in who you are, you should be confident in the God that you serve to say, you know what? Be like Esther. I'm going. And if I perish,
I'm going.
Be like Peter and get out the boat. Let the other disciples stay in their comfort zone. You launch out into the deep and then just cry out for help when you feel yourself sinking. Did he not get saved? So listen,
launch out
type
into
in the
the
comment
deep.
box. My faith has mobility.
My faith has mobility.
So ladies, we hope that you guys are being blessed on tonight. Again, for those of you who may just be joining us, we are Girlfriend Chat with Yah. We're talking about 5 reasons why women feel like life is passing you by. We've already covered confidence, comparison, and we are wrapping up fear. So listen, you guys, we hope that you ladies are being blessed. Now listen, don't just get a good word, make some application. The word don't mean anything if you don't apply it to your life. Choose that, you know what, after ending this broadcast, don't even wait to the end. You should be taking notes about what your action steps should be as soon as you get off this broadcast. You need to be making notes about the things that you need to change so that life no longer pass you by. The Bible says in John 10:10, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy.
Steal, kill, and destroy.
But he came to give us life and to give it more abundantly. I'm having my heaven on earth. I ain't waiting till I get up there.
Because he's giving me heaven on earth. I'm going to go ahead and activate that thing.
We all the same in heaven. Let me just put that out there. Let me free some of y'all. We're all the same in heaven. Right? So while you have the opportunity to be that purple cow on earth, stick out and be different. You are made to be peculiar. Stop allowing these inefficient, unimportant, right things to hinder you. Ladies, come on now. We're too beautiful. We're too smart. We're too intelligent. We're all that and a bag of chips. Life should not be passing us by. I don't care if you were addicted to a drug. Listen, life doesn't have to pass you by. Do what you need to do to get cleaned up. If you're addicted to toxic relationships, do what you need to do to cut the cord. Cut the umbilical cord and decide that you are worth living. Your life is worth fighting for. Your purpose is worth fighting for. Your gifts are worth fighting for. You are just that important. Oh my God.
Amen.
I hope you guys are enjoying this. Listen, we have 2 more to go. Listen, I'll listen. These last 2, y'all, I'm gonna let you take the lead because they're just so powerful. I don't even want to touch them. Oh my gosh. Y'all ain't ready for these last, so I'm just gonna let you know right now.
You are crazy. So, number 4, if you're ready for number 4, put a 4 in the comments. Put a 4 in the comments if you're ready for number 4. This has been an absolutely amazing dialogue and discussion, and I hope that it is, one, letting you know that you're not alone in this thing, that we all struggle with it. It's not just you. And two, that you can begin the process of moving and having the life that you are destined to have. So number 4 is here. Y'all ready? Number 4, the reason why life is passing, you feel that the reason why life is passing you by is because you fed into the narrative. You fed into the narrative. And what narrative is that? That you're supposed to have this by this date, by this time, because society has said, because the people in your neighborhood have said, because social media has said, and you fed into that narrative that you should be where you are by this time based on what that narrative said. And that narrative has been telling you that you're not where you're supposed to be because you don't have children and you're 32 and a half and you haven't met him yet. So you've already calculated if you're 32 and a half and you haven't met him, you don't know that it's going to happen by 35 and your biological clock is ticking and all of these things. You fed into that narrative to say that as a woman, I should be just this, and this by this, and this time. But that's not the narrative that you should be listening to. So when we feed into the narrative, a narrative is, it's that story that plays as life is going. It's that story that is, they're narrating your life for you. They're telling the story and all you're doing is responding to what they're telling you to do. So when we feed into that narrative, then we're saying that we should be a cookie cutter, carbon copy version of the narrator. So that narrator could be society. Their narrator could be your family. That narrator could be, your friends. That narrator could be your neighborhood. That narrator could be any of those things. But I need for you to check who's narrating your story. Because when you feed into that narrator, you feed into that time frame, when you feed into what society says that you're supposed to be, then guess what? That's all you're going to desire to be. So the narrative that I fed into was that I can't be successful, educated, outgoing, have children, be a business person, kill it in the professional arena, and still have a happy, successful marriage. Why? Because somebody told me that you had to choose between those. So if I want to work to focus on my children, I can only focus on being a mother and a wife at this point in my life, right? I can't be a wife and a mother that make moves, that go out and crush it in the professional arena, that's crushing it in the business arena, and come home and make my husband a plate and read a story to my children. Why? Because that's not heard of. I gotta decide which one I'm going to be. So I fed into that narrative and was battling and going back and forth with, well, maybe I can't start Made for Purpose right now, or maybe I can't do this right now, or maybe I gotta give one up, or maybe I gotta do this, when that's not what God designed for me. So the narrative for me was I had to choose. But the God I serve said that he was going to give me all of it and I'm going to be successful in it. I'm not juggling, and there's no such thing as balance. There are some seasons when some things I can't do, but that does not mean that something is wrong or I can't be because of the narrative. So I asked, what narrative did you feed into that is stopping you from living your fullest life? Because we've all fed into some form of a narrative, but it is time for you to turn that voice off. It's time for you to turn that voice off. Are there days where I feel that maybe I'm not the best mom, the best wife, the best business person? Yes, because I'm human. But that does not mean that it is my time and it's my season to quit anything but just be a mom and be a wife. There are seasons where I can't take on a lot, but I was wired and designed to do all of it because he would not have given it to me if that's not what I was designed to do. Whatever it is that you're designed to do, I'm not telling you that you need to go out and do and be all of those things if God didn't tell you that. But what I am saying, if that's what he told you, stop feeding into the narrative that says that one of these got to fall by the wayside.
I think you said something so powerful. Knowing the all of it was powerful. Sometimes when we feel overwhelmed, right? We bit off more than we can chew as women, and we do that quite often because that's in our nature. Our nature is to cater to everybody that's in our sphere circle that needs us, right? And so sometimes when we doing too much, we translate that into being, oh, you don't need to do that at all, instead of standing back and analyzing and say, okay, I can't be at three places at one time. Where do I really need to focus my attention on, and where do I just gracefully need to decline or back out of? Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes our pride gets in the way, and we're trying to do too much on a negative level, to where we're stressed out, to where we think, oh, we buy into that narrative you're talking about. I know for me and myself, being a teen mother, I was a mother at 15. I bought into the narrative that said you're a statistic, that you're not gonna be anything. Your daughter's gonna end up just like you. You're gonna be stuck in this mode, and everything you do has to be specifically for her. You're not going to be able to live your life. You're not going to no longer have dreams. There's nothing you can do that's going to be worth anything that doesn't involve your daughter. I bought into that for years, and if I could be honest with you all, it was probably in the last 5 years where I broke free. My daughter will be 23 in March, so you do the math. Right? Mm-hmm. And so here's what I'm telling you. Stop buying into the hype. Right? Now listen, I'm going to steal a line from Cardi B. Now I really don't do hip hop, but I like Cardi B. I like there's one line she said. She says, I don't dance no more. I make money moves. Instead of dance, I want you to put a word there that you bought into that narrative. Whatever that word is, I want you to put that word in that song and says, I don't do that no more because I make money moves. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because here's the thing. All of those things are just an opinion. Somebody's opinion doesn't have to become your reality unless you let it. Just because statistics say that teen mothers don't graduate high school doesn't mean it has to be my reality. Just because statistics say that teen mothers don't get their degree before 30 doesn't mean it has to be my reality. Just because statistics say children of teen mothers will repeat the cycle doesn't mean it has to be my reality. My baby will be 23 next month and she has no kids, thank you, Jesus. Getting ready to go to law school. Don't tell me what God won't do. Stop buying into the narrative. Just because somebody put a statistic out doesn't mean it defines you. It's just a statistic. It's just research. It's just information. You can dispel all of that by being your best self and not buying into the narrative. I will never forget, even when my brother got married, I was like, man, he beat me getting married.
Look at that comparison and the narrative. Jesus.
Look, listen, and if the enemy had allowed, if I had entertained that thought continuously, I would not be having this conversation with you today. I had to tell myself, listen, y'all are on different paths. God knows what we need at this point in time in our life. Some people need things sooner so they can be stable. But you're comparing yourself about what you don't have, and you're buying into the narrative that if I'm not married by such and such age, if I don't have children by such and such age, if I don't have X amount of money by such and such age, that I'm not deemed a successful woman. Why are you letting that be your truth? Why has that become your reality? Write your own story. Stop allowing other people who don't know you, who are not invested in you, who can care less about you, determine how you live your life. The devil is a lie. You understand what I'm saying? I'm dispelling every statistic there is out there about teen mothers. I'm breaking the ceiling on all of them. And not only that, I'm going to teach others how to do the same thing.
That's right.
Stop believing the hype. Stop believing the hype. That's all it is hype. You know, in your clubbing days, you know, there was always a hype man. The DJ always had to be the hype man, right? He had to get the crowd in it. Listen, stop allowing that person tell you what you should and shouldn't be doing. Stop allowing that imaginary, fictional person in your head, right?
To tell
And it may be
you.
somebody you see on a regular basis. Stop allowing that person to determine where you're going to be and who you're going to be in your life. Disconnect from all of that
Absolutely.
and be confident.
Listen, Listen, and while you were saying that, I just wrote this down because there was this other narrative that I just dealt with in the last few years. And that was, that superwoman that you got to be all things to everyone. And there was a season in my life when I lived, almost 4 hours away, that I would travel to always be around my family and friends and support and all of those things. And while I live closer now, I had to free myself from the narrative to say that I always got to show up for everything. And guess what? That means that some of the narrators were upset that I can't be everything to everyone. But I am okay with what I can be, because in this season of my life, I can't be everything to everyone because of all that I am putting into my family, the ministry that's being built, the business, my children, all of those things in their young years. And for a long time, I felt that, I was less than, or I'm not being, the best version of myself to other people because I can't show up for them, right? There are people that will never understand that. And that's okay, because it's not for them to understand. So let me free you right now. You cannot be everything to everyone, because guess what? If they are holding you to what you aren't in this season and forgetting all of the seasons that you were there, then it's not your job to remind them. But free yourself from the narrative that says that we got to wear this S and we are to be everything to everyone while we're drowning, while nobody's checking on us, while they're mad that we didn't show up to something, but they didn't even call to see why we didn't show up, or the fact that what we got going on, because while we're so strong and we got this smile and we got all of these things, don't feed into that narrative. At the end of the day, my love is enough. And there are going to be seasons where I can't show up for you. There are going to be seasons where I can't come over. There are going to be seasons where I can't do and I can't be. But if you're measuring my love for you and where we are just based on the season that I'm in now, then there's more that we need to figure out. So don't feed into that narrative. Stop being everything to everyone at the expense of your life. At
Oh
the
my God.
expense of your life. You running ragged for other people and being and doing and all of these things at the expense of yourself and your happiness. And as long as they're happy, they didn't even think about you after the fact. And it wasn't intentional, but they didn't. So free yourself from that narrative that says that you got to be everything to everybody else except yourself, because you will look around and your life will pass you by because you were there for everyone else in every season. You supported everybody. You clapped the loudest for their graduation and this and that, and you didn't put that time into yourself.
Let me share with some of you guys. I used to be that woman who thought that I had to be everywhere for everybody at all times. And then guess what? Nobody really showed up for me. So then
Ooh,
I had to make the realization, this is a one-sided
excuse me.
relationship. Let me help you. If people in your life, and this includes family, friends, co-workers, church members, whoever, the dog down the street, if people in your life are always expecting you to show up at everything, they really don't love you.
Say it again for the people in the back.
Listen, if people in your life
Carmen,
are
it
always
does. You know it does.
expecting you to show up at everything, they really don't love you. Because people ought to be able to see that you're not superwoman. Somebody ought to love you enough to say, "Yah, I know you're really trying to be there, but I need you to rest. I need you to take this weekend, stay at home, stay with your family, have some me time. I know you love me. You don't have to come this weekend." If you have people in your life that are always demanding, they're always leeching your time, your energy, they are emotionally draining you, they really don't love you. I don't care if they're blood related. That's the truth. Now sip on that tea.
Yep.
I wish I had me some water.
And that's why you got to change the narrative, because you teach people how to treat you. So they were okay because you never made it a priority that that you mattered, right? And while they did come and they did support, it was only when you threw it. It was only at your
Yes.
dime and at your expense and
Yes.
all of those things. They didn't just call and say, "Hey, how are you? I ain't seen you. I'm gonna come see you. I just want to come and sit over for a little bit." Right? So we got to change that narrative so that they can learn how to treat you. And if they don't get in alignment with that, we go back right to what Chantea just said, then they weren't for you. They can't see past themselves. So your life will pass you by. You'll look up in 10 and 20 years later and you've been all things to everybody. You're not Jesus. You can't be all things to all men. And then you're angry, you're bitter, you're mad because you was there clapping for everything that they had, all while
Yes.
not doing what you needed to do for yourself. And you look up
Yes.
and they're not there. And they're too busy with their lives that they can't support yours.
Listen, and you broke down and sick, and can't nobody go to the store and get you a can of soup.
I mean, didn't even tell them that you sick, and guess what? They still talking to you about what's wrong with them in the middle of you coughing and hacking and everything else. I ain't gonna hold you long, but well, I mean, I just said that I had the flu. Real quick, I ain't gonna bother you long, but
I mean, there are to be some times in your life where people ought to call you and say, "I just want to pray for you real quick."
mm,
They don't ask for nothing. They not trying to get the third degree as to why you wasn't at the family function. They just want to call and encourage you. You listen, I want you to put this in the comment box. I matter.
oh,
I matter. Y'all said that, and let me tell you something. This is something I had to learn the hard way. I matter. You have to understand that your life and your purpose and the things that you are designed to do matter. Sometimes you have to be selfish with your purpose. Sometimes you have to say, you know what, my purpose is going to come before anything else.
before
And let me
anything
tell you
else.
something. When you do that, the people that are really for you will support you. Those that are offended will have clap back. And when they clap back, you cut them loose.
Um, all right, so like you had your Cardi B. In my life, there was this song that was out a couple little summers ago, and it was like, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it. Okay. And it's okay, because when I used to feed into the narrative and I had fear, I wouldn't cut them off, or I would make every, reassuring them and all of that kind of stuff. But guess what? If your stance is I didn't show up, or I wasn't there, or you don't call to make sure that I am okay, and you're offended, and we're over the age of 25 and we can't talk this thing out and we can't do any of that, okay. I'm not fighting for things that you're not fighting for. We really got to get to that place that we understand that we matter, and as much time, energy, and value that we put into relationships, that it should be reciprocated.
Yes, absolutely. And listen, there's nothing in the girlfriend handbook that said you guys have to be friends for a lifetime. Let me just go ahead and free you.
Oh,
Some people, the
Jesus.
reason why you have allowed the narrative to control your life, if you have allowed people seasoned in your life who have been, they were up 10 years ago, right? But you're still allowing them to stay connected to you because you're afraid of the narrative says, oh, you're not supposed to cut childhood friends. Who said that?
I don't know because I never got the book, right? I was always given the policies and procedures, but nobody gave me the handbook. So I don't know whether you making that up or not. I don't know where it came from. But it was a narrative that was passed down, and it was passed down, and it was passed down. That, I mean, we've been in this thing 20 years. We might as well stay in this thing.
But
But
let me
what we
tell you
had in
off the
common
rip.
20 years ago and what we have in common today are completely different. Because when I got free, because when I no longer feared, because when I had confidence, and when I stopped comparing and I looked around, the only thing that we had in common was our insecurities. The
My
only thing
Lord.
that we had in common was the rejection. The only thing that we had in common was our pain. The only thing that we had in common was that low place. And every time I tried to get up, you reminded me of that low place. And now I think I'm better. And now I am better than that pain. Don't you want me to be?
Yes, listen, and you know what? It just came to me another reason we buy into that narrative. There are so many movies, children's movies, where the kids grow up and they're best friends forever into life. That's fairy tale. Now there are some genuine. I have some college friends. They actually grew up together, and they are still you would they are still best friends today, and it's genuine. However, that is far and few between. That is rare. We have to stop allowing
Mm-hmm.
what we see on TV to create a narrative for our life, right? And I think that probably leads into your to the last one, y'all. So I'm gonna stop right there and let you take that
All right. I just wrote this down before I go to the next one. Rarities aren't always reality.
one.
Rarities aren't always reality. Just because it's rare, that it's rare for a reason. It's not reality. So stop buying into that. So the last one is, are y'all ready for number 5? Drum roll. So number 5, the fifth reason why we believe that you feel that life is passing you by. You've never taken inventory of your goals that you made and see whether or not they are the goals that you should have. So you never changed your goals, or you never changed the how because of the why. And let me explain that. Right? We've all had this goal at some point in our lives, right? That we want to have children by 25, want to be this and want to have that, right? So the goal was more so based on the time frame and not getting to the end goal. So, right, you never changed your how because of your why. So your why is you wanted to have children, right? And you felt that you should have had them by 25, right? So you just dismissed the whole idea because at 25, you had this party and you looked around and you saw that you didn't have children. He didn't come on a horse, he didn't come in a horse. He wasn't a knight in shining armor and all of that. So therefore, you feel that you've missed out on something because you made this goal. But I have to ask the question, when did you make the goal? Did you make the goal as a cognizant, grown adult that understood what it meant to have this by this date? No, because we all made goals and they're lofty and we say we want to do this by this. I remember one of my goals was that I wanted to have a master's degree by the age of 30, right? Now, that doesn't sound like that's far and few between. But let me put things in perspective for you. I wanted to have this by the age of 30, but I was a non-traditional college student who did not go to school until 22, right? So I didn't go to school until 22. I didn't graduate until 25. I worked my behind off to get there. I felt that I had some catching up to do. Why? Because society says that you go straight to college from high school. I didn't, right? Life happened for all of the reasons. I didn't go to school at 17 or 18. So I didn't go till I was 22 years old. So therefore I had to play catch up so that I could graduate. And at 25, I still was old. And, in my standard, I was old and I needed to hurry up and accelerate all of these things. But I never factored in life. I never factored in what else was going to happen in the process. I never factored in my maturity level and any of these things. And the why was the how, the why is, or the what is, that I wanted a master's degree. But the how was, okay, how am I going to get there by this time? And I measured who I was and where my life was based on me not getting it by that time. So I didn't factor in between 25 and 30. I met my husband, got married, had a baby, started my career, and I still was like, but I should have graduated by now. I should have graduated by now. I did not take into account all of the other things that happened in my life. So when you set your goal, right, whatever that goal may have been that you feel at this moment in your life that time has passed you by, did you update your how? Did you
Mm.
make your goal when you were a child and didn't understand what life was like, and you never added that thing? You never updated it, because the why never changes. The what never changes. The how may change. So why are you giving up the what because of the how? You're giving up what you desire. You're giving up what God's promised you. You're giving up all of these things because of how you got to get it and when it comes. Some of us need to go back to those goals that we set at 18 and 19-year-old, not understanding and knowing what that goal would mean and what life would have handed us. Because see, how I'm able to be so successful, and I'm not talking about success as it relates to finances and things, but I kind of roll with the punches. Because here's the thing. I may not be able to get to my destination here because there was a roadblock. You recalculate that GPS, you go a different way, because my end goal was to get to this place. It doesn't matter that it took me 5 extra minutes, 5 extra hours, 5 extra years. Do I want it bad enough that it does not matter? You've ever been late to something that was important to you, and you were so late that you had to make a decision: am I going to keep going or am I going to turn around? But it was so important to you that you kept going, and you called the person to say, listen, I am still coming. I don't care if I got to come just to say hi to you and I miss everything. I purposed in my heart that this is where I am coming to. So it does not matter how long it takes me or the how. If this is where I want to be, I'm not dropping it for anybody. Some of us have made lofty goals and we did not look at them. And now, because we just put a time frame, like where did we get this 30 from? Where did we get 25 from? Where did we get 35? Where did that number come from? Like, did you just pick it out of your hat to say, I just want, for me, I don't even know and understand where 30, because 30 symbolized that at this point you should be all the way together, right? So for me, I just held on to 30. I needed to have my master's degree by 30. Okay, once I had the degree by 30, what was I going to do? Was I focusing on something? At 30, what did 30 signify, right? I wanted to have the big 3 and a 0 balloon with my hat and my tassel on, because that was the picture that I had in my mind. But what was a greater picture? That I got to look out, and that was my son's normal, that all he saw was his mom graduating, that he did not see that I was 31 and 32 years old. He did not see anything other than, guess what? My mom did it. So we got to drop the time frame, drop that timeline, begin to recalculate and go back and take inventory of those goals that you set, and give yourself a reprieve if you set goals that you didn't even understand the time frame that you put on them. I need to be married by this time. I need to have this by this time. I mean, we even do it with small things like, wait, I need to lose 20 pounds in a month. And then when you don't lose those 20 pounds in a month, you're beating yourself up, when realistically you need to understand that your body that is healthy, you lose 2 pounds a week, and that's only 8 pounds in a month. And then you're frustrated that you didn't lose the 20, but it wasn't realistic to begin with. You set yourself up for failure from the beginning because you didn't calculate everything and the cost that went along with that. So free yourself and go back and recalculate that how. It is okay to recalculate. It is okay. What I absolutely love about the GPS is it gives you more than one route. It does give you time frames, but it adjusts the time based on what you deal with.
I mean, absolutely. I've been listening. Everybody's, some people have been saying recalculating. Listen,
Yes.
we all need to recalculate, right? And so that is so true. A lot of times we set unrealistic goals. And we put this unrealistic pressure on ourselves, especially as women, right? There's a lot of pressure on us to be the best, to be the top. We're already fighting, right? Not only with one another, but we're fighting with our male counterparts, right? And then for those of us that are African American, we're having to fight other ethnic groups for the same thing. So there's always a struggle for the woman, no matter what it is, right? But you have to understand, like y'all said, when life happens, you need to recalculate. Some of you all didn't reach the goal because you had to take care of a parent. Recalculate. It's impossible. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it makes it more harder on yourself to try to reach the same goal when 80% of your time is caring for an aging parent, right? Recalculate. You had kids and you weren't expecting to have kids. Recalculate, right? You didn't get the job that you wanted to. Recalculate, right? Sometimes we have to recalculate some friendships.
Recalculate. Your route is being updated. Recalculating. Would you like to take this new route? Don't get frustrated and say no. Accept the new route. Go and enjoy the journey. Don't be so focused on the goal that you miss the journey. Like you don't see the trees, you didn't see any of that because you're so focused on getting there that once you get there and once you arrive, you didn't spend the time getting there. I tell engaged couples all the time, take time and enjoy each other being engaged. Don't be so consumed with planning that I got to be and I got to do that you look back and you don't enjoy every part of the journey. Because if you put more time, here it is, into the wedding and not the marriage, then you're setting yourself up for failure. What are you putting more time into?
That's deep. That is deep. And you know what? Something just popped in my spirit. A reason why a lot of us don't shift is because we can't control the shift. As a woman, we
Ooh.
want to be in control of everything. But let me help free all of us. Release your control and go with the flow. When life says, I'm recalculating, you can keep fighting it, right? You're going in one direction and life is going to another. Eventually, you're going to have to meet up. Think about all that time you've wasted because you couldn't control the way life happened. Sometimes we make decisions that affect it. Life happens.
Life
Whatever
happens.
that has caused a recalculation in your life, acknowledge it, accept it, analyze it, and then decide which way you want to go.
Absolutely. Can I add to adjust it? Adjust it. After
Listen,
you
I had to
analyze
write
it,
that down.
after
Do
you
not
acknowledge
adjust
it,
your life.
yes, adjust it. It's okay to make the adjustment. Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, a part of that goal is your purpose, right? Your purpose. It doesn't matter how you get there. What matters most is that you are called to be there. So if you didn't get there the way that you felt that you should, you gonna give up? You gonna give up? Chantea, I think they want you to say those again. You're gonna give up?
Oh, girl, listen, y'all should have wrote that down. I was in the spirit.
It was acknowledge. It was acknowledge. It was
Acknowledge, accept,
accept,
analyze.
analyze, and I added
It was
adjust. But you add
adjust.
something before that.
It may have been go with the flow. But
Yeah,
Paula made a comment. She says going with the flow is so difficult for me. Paula, it's one day at a time. It's not something that
absolutely.
happens overnight. Let me tell you something. It's something I'm still learning. There are
Recovering
times
control
I'm
freak.
thinking, listen,
Hi, I'm Yah, and I'm recovering from controlling everything. You can't surprise me with a surprise party because I'm going to analyze it and figure out what you're doing because I need to control it and make sure that I look cute that day. They tried to give me a surprise baby shower. I knew what month it was in, so I got dressed every Saturday of the month. Control. That's how bad it was. How bad it was sitting on the couch every Saturday, full dress beat. You won't catch me off.
Hey, y'all, welcome to the group.
So one day at
Listen,
a time,
one
release
day at a time.
what you're comfortable with releasing first and go
Yes.
forward. And when you realize and you understand that you ain't in control of none of it anyway, I promise you the headaches will go away. I promise you your heart won't palpitate as much. I promise you you won't sweat anymore in your palms because you don't control any of it. Anyway, don't judge me, guys, but no, seriously, with my son, I knew that my baby shower was coming, and I literally got dressed every single Saturday. I mean, was cute sitting there, then had my face poked out.
Josette, the answer to your question, yes. I know of women that are 48 and beyond that have recalculated and they are enjoying life. Think about the women who have gone back to college at 50 and 60 years old. They
Yes.
recalculated life. And here's the thing, I want to give you guys an activity. Make a list of things, right? That you know, as us as women, we know that there are certain things we have to have control of, right? Make a list of those things. And then start to
Yeah.
conquer those one by one. See, this is the thing. When we try to correct our flaws all at one time, y'all, that's too much.
Hey,
It's
brother
over.
Kyle. Hey, Toya. Sorry.
You're going to drown. You're going to drown. Listen, I tried it. It don't work. Conquer one flaw at a time.
Can you pick me? Can you pick me?
Y'all, you have something you want to say?
Okay. So here's the thing. There are absolutely things that you need to control. So here's what I had to
Yes,
learn.
Yolanda.
I can't talk about I want to control, when you throwing me a baby shower, what you doing this, how you doing that, but I don't want to control my attitude and my mouth and my sarcasm and stuff. So I need you to shift your energy to controlling the things that you need to control and releasing the stuff that God is supposed to do. See, we taking God's job and then we're leaving the stuff that he has made us a steward over, like our mouth, like our sarcasm, like all of those things that he specifically helped you to be a good steward over, but you're ignoring those things and you're using the excuse to say that's just who I am and I'm sarcastic. But then the things that you need to let go of, you won't let go of. So again, let's recalculate here. And the things, like she said, that you need to make a list of those things that you know that you need to take your hands off of. But if you take some time to focus and control, put that energy on the things that you know that you need to control. Like at 48, it's definitely not cute to still be going to work and laying people out. That, I mean, at some point you're going to have to control your mouth, right? But other
Right.
things,
And you
no.
don't need to be in the club either. Get out the club. Quit trying to hang with your kids. Quit
Yeah,
trying
see,
to
that's
dress
the stuff that you
like you a
see. That's
female
the stuff
vixen.
that you can control. That's the stuff that you can control. Like my facial expression, God is delivering me with. I'm trying to control those things.
Oh,
Like these are things
I
that
feel what you're
taming
saying.
the tongue is things that I can control. The spirit of pettiness that rises up in me, like riding a bike. They're the things that I can control, right? But if I want to keep controlling these things, it don't give me an opportunity to control the things that God needs me to control, like this sarcasm, like this spirit of pettiness that, like it arrests me, y'all, sometimes. And I'm
You
building
know,
trees and forests and shade, and I mean, they're the things that
listen,
we need to control.
and you know what? Some of these things, if we would
Yes, Toya,
control some
tame your
character,
petty.
if we would control some character issues, a lot of the other stuff we deal with would go away.
There it is. There it is. And if we would get to the root of things, right? So my need to control was because I didn't have control of some things growing up in my childhood. And I couldn't relinquish that to people, because the people that were supposed to look out for me did not. So therefore, I need to make sure that you're going to do it the right way, because I've been dealing with myself for a long time. There are some things that I had to raise and manage myself with that I don't know that I can trust you to control it. But when I dealt with that rejection, when I dealt with those things, then it was easier for me to relinquish the control and give it to God, because I understood that even in all of that, he was still there.
My God.
So get to the root of the thing. Get to the root of the thing, because that's where it comes from. When we get to the root of the thing, then it's easier. It's easier to relinquish the control and to take your hands off of it when I know where it came from.
And let me just add this. Some of us are going to need help doing that with professional help. Okay, let me
can we
just
say
go
that
ahead and
again?
tell y'all. Talking to a therapist or a psychologist does not mean you're crazy. It means that you recognize that there is an issue in your life that has gotten out of control. And you're trying to recalculate, but you're recalculating too often to now you're confused and you're stuck and you cannot move. So you need the help of somebody who is licensed and trained that can walk you through the process slowly. Now, I ain't talking about Big Mama. I love Big Mama, but Big Mama don't have the answers for everything. I'm not talking about your pastor. I love my pastor. However, my pastor is not a trained counselor.
I am, but go ahead.
Yeah, maybe y'all is.
This pastor has a degree in counseling, but yes, and you're absolutely correct. Like, God made pastors, y'all. I mean, God made therapists, y'all. There's some Christian ones. God made counselors. I promise you that he did. You cannot pray everything away. Like, your mental well-being matters. So,
yes, it does.
And I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it because I had to say it to myself. Stop trusting yourself with all that. You're not all that to deliver yourself. Because if you could, you would have.
Listen, I don't think the people on the back row heard you. They didn't hear you in the balcony.
Listen, stop trusting yourself with yourself, because you can't deliver yourself and you put yourself in some of these situations. Because if you could, you would have. And I know that you're absolutely amazing. I know that you are a great steward over yourself. I know that you lived with yourself longer than anybody has lived with you, and you know yourself and all of that. But you can't analyze yourself and help you get out of that place, because if you could, you wouldn't have been in place.
My Lord. Listen, y'all, it's hard for us to be objective with ourselves. We're biased.
Yes. Oh.
Our crazy ain't that bad. I just need to get me some sleep. I just need to get me a Coke and rum and I'll be good. I just need to get me a Dr. Pepper and I'll be good. I just need to go lay up with, Joe down the street and I'm gonna be fine.
Come on. Been there, done that, wrote a book about it, but y'all gotta get that.
You can't sex crazy out of you. Oh, did I just say that?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, sex is not for the cure your crazy.
Where were you at some years ago? Somebody should have, never mind. That's another conversation for another day.
Right. Listen, y'all. Hear our heart. Seriously. At the end of the day, because sometimes life is passing us by because we are mentally unstable. Because we are chronic, we have been going through depression secretly. We are secretly suffering. But we're publicly living.
In the church. I am a counselor who has a counselor. That was one of the first things they taught us in counseling. They made us go through every form of counseling, group, grief, regular, one-on-one, all of that. And I have not been in 2018, but I've been in 2017. You can afford it. So let's dispel all of those myths. You can afford it. You can afford your $40 or $50 copay. Yes, in that season, you may just need to not get your nails done. In that season, you may not need to buy $32 foundation from MAC. In this season, you may just not need to go out because your mental health is that important. If you have a job, right, and your first five, if you work for a state agency, your first 5 sessions are free. Ask me how I know. Your first 5 sessions are free. And when I had my son, my insurance didn't cover it, and I paid $100 a session and had to go through 7. Why? Because $700 is a small thing to being free.
Say that again.
Remember the MasterCard, it used to be like something, $700. This, $800. This, priceless. So the investment of $700 into myself was well worth it today. And that was almost 10 years ago, because my son will be 10 next month. And I started going to counseling when he was 6 months. So it's well worth the investment. So don't look at the sticker price to say that you can't. You find a way, because you find a way for everything that you want. So make sure that you understand that there are avenues and there are ways for you to get what you need. Don't spend so much time and energy in getting a job, doing the part for your husband, planning for a house, and all of these things, but you don't take care of your emotional well-being. Healing is cute. It's one of the sexiest things you could do. Healing is cute. It's one of the best accessories that you'll have on you. Get healed, get whole. Life won't pass you by when you begin to look at things from these lenses, right? So let's just take that burden off of us, and wherever you are in your walk of life, start tonight, tomorrow, go with what you can do and begin to live your best life.
Listen, ladies, and our few gentlemen that have joined us, we certainly appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. This is our girlfriend chat, 5 reasons why women feel like life is passing them by. And listen, we have covered just 5. We know there are plenty more. The first one was confidence. The second one was comparison. The third one was fear. The fourth one, I put fighting the biological clock. And the fifth one was not adjusting to life, not recalculating. And so listen, you guys, hear our hearts. We hope that you have been encouraged. We didn't come on because we wanted to hear ourselves talk. This is something we deal with on a regular basis in helping women be the best version of them, not just in ministry, but outside of ministry. And so it is so important that as women, right, we're speaking to the women, but you men get the information so you can know how to help your woman.
Come on.
You have to understand and appreciate who you are. Appreciate what you have, and understand that you matter and that your emotional health is priceless. The reason why you don't have some stuff is because you're not emotionally healed. God's not going to send you that husband when he know that you're just cuckoo on the inside. Why he going to mess 2 of y'all up? Okay. So listen, you guys. We have been on for an hour and a half. We hadn't planned on being on that long, but the conversation got good.
Was
the time
it?
has gone. Yes, it is 10. So
oh my goodness.
That clock in the morning comes real fast. So listen, you guys, we appreciate you hanging out with us. We appreciate you guys sharing the broadcast. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post them in the comment box below, or you can inbox me or Yah, and we will do our best to answer that question according to our knowledge and expertise. But listen, you guys, we don't want you to leave here thinking, okay, I've gotten all this information, how can I help you? We are here to help you. We can help you, right? So we are similar ministries with different functions, right? And so Yah helps everybody, women, everything purpose. So if you know that you are still challenged in trying to figure out your purpose, go to mateforpurpose.org. See everything that Yah has. Connect with her. Do a coaching session. so that you can get what you need. There's no reason why you should not be living in your purpose when you have resources at your fingertips. Now, let
Absolutely.
me put this disclaimer out here. The gift is free, but our time is not. Now, my brother Felix Anderson said that. The gift is free, but our time is not. You cannot nickel and dime us thinking that you're going to get what you need without investing in the gift.
Absolutely.
Free don't pay the mortgage. Free don't pay tuition. Don't pay gas in the car. Don't put food on the table. All right. So if you are serious about what we're offering, make the investment.
Absolutely.
Make the investment. All right. So again, y'all go ahead and sign out. Tell them what you got offering, what you got going on, how they can reach you, how they connect with you.
All right, so you can go to madeforpurpose.org. You can join our mailing list. I will be dropping a new class called Refurbished on the 19th. It's a 5-day email class. It's the 19th, Refurbished, 5 ways to repurpose your pain. And for everybody that was on this chat, when you use the code girlfriends chat, right? All one word, girlfriends chat, you will get 20% off of it. It does not launch until the 19th, but I will begin to go and do advertising and all of those things. So join the mailing list. If you were on this, then you would know that you could put that code in. That code will not work nowhere else. If they didn't see this, they wouldn't know to put the code in. And the class is $47, so it'll be 20% off of that. And I promise you, it is going to, if you thought that this was amazing, we really get into some really good things. Refurbished, you know, sometimes things that are refurbished and repurposed are much better. They're much greater. So make sure that for nothing else, but you join the email list. Soon as you go on to Made for Purpose, right at the top is going to ask you, are you ready to join our mailing list? Every Wednesday, which starts tomorrow is Wednesday. Every Wednesday we do what is called our purpose push, where we push you into your purpose. So if you aren't on the mailing list, make sure that you join the mailing list. And I thank you all for allowing me to be here. I want to make sure that you operate in your God-given purpose, but we do that through emotional wellness, making sure that you're well on the inside, because you can have the house, the cars, and all of those things. But how many of us know that we cannot enjoy it fully if we're still contending with some things in our lives? So I am an emotional wellness Christian life coach. So make sure that you connect with me so that you can get all the things that you need, because healing and wholeness is cute. And I always say what Evangelist Lauryn Hill says, Evangelist Lauryn Hill, how you gonna win when you ain't right within?
Love it. Oh my gosh.
How you gonna win when you ain't right within? Everybody want to win, and we're saying that this is our winning season, and we're not doing anything for winning. All we do is win, 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 no matter what. But here's the thing. You can't win when you ain't right within. So make sure that you do what you need to do to get right within. Life's not going to pass you by anymore. Why? Because you're going to make a decision that it's not going to pass you by. You're going to make a decision that this is the last day that you stay in this place.
Listen, absolutely. Oh my gosh. So listen, you guys, if you need help with that, you need some Christian counseling, get on the right path. Yah is your girl. She's going to hook you up. I can vouch for her. She walks in integrity. You don't have to worry about any of that. So whatever myth or preconception you have about counseling and therapists, I'm here to dispel all of that. She's the real deal. For real, for real.
Thank you. And I think I have a few of my clients on here too that can vouch for that. But
so listen, you guys, again, my name is Chantea Williams. I am the ministry leader at Greater Working Women Ministries. I'm also the president of Greater Working Women Publishing Company and the founder of I Am Still Somebody, which is our teen mom mentoring program that we're going to launch in the spring. So if you know that you have said, you know what, I've always wanted to write a book. Right, I need to get my book out. Then listen, you can connect with me. Go to the website, go to greaterwomen.com and sign up for the mailing list, right? And so I'm going to start a free 7-day challenge. I'll put the link in the comment box. It's bit.ly/GWWP Right. bit.ly/GWWP Right. It is a 7-day writing challenge. It is kind of a precursor to my writing course that's going to launch in March. So if you know that writing has been something that you want to do, then this would be an easy way to get started. I also have some clients that are have been watching, and so listen, they will vouch. What I do is high quality and service of excellence, every single thing. But listen, you're not gonna publish a book for no dollar. Okay.
Can you say the can you say the link again? I'm trying to put it in for you.
bit.ly/GWWP Right. I had to look it up to make sure I had it right. So listen, make sure, if that's something that you want to do, then you have to make sure that you're ready to make the investment, right? Go ahead and start saving up your coins. Go to the website, gwwpublishing.com. You can see what it is that we offer. If you have a question, shoot me an email. I'll answer it. However, I'm not going to give you information. I'm not going to give you strategies in an email. Okay? So as I say, our gift is free, but our time and knowledge are not. So make sure that you honor the gift and make sure you make the investment if that's what you want to do. If you choose not to use either one of us, that is absolutely fine, but make sure that you're connected with somebody that can speak to your purpose. Make sure that you're connected to somebody that can help you get on the right track so that life is no longer passing you by, because you are a greater working woman made for purpose.
Yes. Yes. Come on and combine that.
Okay, so that is what you are. So listen, that is us. We are going to sign off. We thank you. We love you. And we hope that this has blessed you guys. Listen, share this with somebody. Watch the replay. We're going to keep it up. We're not going to take it down. We want you to be free. All right. So remember, just matter of fact, before you sign off, put in the comment box, I am a greater working woman made for purpose.
Yes, I am a greater working woman
made for purpose. We want you guys to sign off with that. I'm trying to get it in there to make sure I get in there before we sign off. Greater working. I'm typing slow. I am a greater working woman made for purpose.
Yes. Let me tell y'all something that I absolutely love what I do and love this because I don't keep these hours. I'm usually like on my second dream by now. If you have followed me, if you've connected with me, I am a morning person. Like I am up at 5:45. Earliest is 5:15. Latest is 5:45. So this was an absolutely amazing and great dialogue because I didn't even know what time it was, but my eyes just reminded me.
So listen, you guys, girlfriend chat is something that we may decide to keep up. It won't be every week thing because our schedules will not allow that, but it may be something monthly or maybe every other month that we can do. So if you would like us to address other topics, put them in the comment box and we'll look at it below. We'll bring on some other women who are experts in those fields as all. Listen, girlfriend chat is not about us. It's a collaboration. So, if you know that you have knowledge in a certain area, let us know, right? Listen, I done just made up something, honey.
I mean, let's go with it. Let's go with it.
All right. So listen, you guys, we love you. We thank God for you. Remember, in the comment box, put in, I am a greater working woman made for purpose. All right. We love you guys and we are signing off. This is Chantea.
And this is Yah. See you guys.